All right, we are officially live on YouTube. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Big Baller Land. We got a lot to talk about. Free agency apparently has started already. It's 8:45 Pacific. Woj dropping bombs already. Jeremiah, how is it going? We got a lot to talk about already.
Aloha! I'm coming to you from my lanai in Hawaii. I am excited to go hard and go free agency. Go NBA. I'm super pumped to see some really bad contracts pop off. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so I mean, just already, we had Jokic. He agreed to sign that 5-year deal. Um, Paul George just Woj dropped that he's gonna stay with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Boo!
They're gonna get knocked out in the first round by probably LeBron and the Lakers.
Nice.
The tides have turned completely on Paul George, and for the past months, even the past year, I thought this was the summer he's going to be coming to the Lakers. What were your thoughts initially when we just saw? I know you were. We saw it probably a minute before we went live. What were your thoughts on that?
The initial response is profanity. I was really hoping Paul George would be coming to the Lakers. He's been the centerpiece in the super team. Well, LeBron's always the centerpiece, but he's been a major piece of that super team discussion for the Lakers. He's always been an LA guy. He's been preaching that he's wanted to come here for years. So to see him go back to not corn country, I was corrected by OKC fans when I said, that they're a corn state. I guess Oklahoma makes a lot of wheat. So congratulations, you guys have wheat, methamphetamine, and Paul George. So there's that. Very disappointed. At the same time, he had a really poor showing in the playoffs, and he hasn't been traditionally clutch. I don't see Oklahoma City doing anything, so it's not really a threat to the Lakers' progression in any way. And then it just makes Randall more likely. So all of those things are positives. It's silver linings. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Paul George sucks and I knew it all along and I'm glad. Obviously, I'm disappointed. What are your thoughts on PG to OKC?
Man, it's just a player who, out of all the players in the past 5 or 6 years, going back to Dwight, I was pretty confident he was going to re-sign with the Lakers, and then there was Greg Monroe and LaMarcus Aldridge. These guys, Kevin Durant. It's like every year the Lakers, I think we're going to get these guys, but Paul George was the one guy who I was, again, like the past year, I was thinking he's definitely coming to the Lakers. So it's kind of disappointing just the past 24 hours or so for things to turn that crazily. And just really surprising, honestly, to choose to play. I just don't understand where he's coming from. He said he wants to win. Are you really going to win with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony when it looks like LeBron's going to the Lakers? I just don't understand it. We could talk a little bit more about Paul George later. There's some other news going on. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is going to meet with the Clippers. So now that the Lakers don't have Paul George, they're going to have a little bit more cap space. Caldwell-Pope, what do you think about him meeting with the Clippers?
It makes sense. KCP never felt like he got the contract he was looking for. He's already in LA. I'm pretty sure his parole might be related to staying here. You never know. So KCP's a good player. I think it makes sense that he would meet with LAC and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm open to him finding a good place. I liked him. I always thought he was a good player here in Los Angeles for this 1 year. And I hope he finds somewhere where he's going to be appreciated and maybe utilized a little bit more. So, and definitely with a talent poor Clippers team, he would definitely get utilized more.
So we got a question from Josh Taylor TV. Do we still give up pieces for Kawhi Leonard? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, now that LeBron, I don't want to confirm anything. It looks like the past couple hours it's been pointing towards the Lakers, but with LeBron coming, Paul George not, there were just rumors the past hour of DeMarcus Cousins taking a look at the Lakers, and maybe signing like a 1 or 2 year deal. His injury is a question mark, and the Achilles coming from a guy who's 7 foot and 260 pounds. But now with the Lakers not getting Paul George, what are your thoughts about Kawhi Leonard, potentially giving up pieces for him?
Well, here's the thing. I think that San Antonio doesn't have the leverage that they think they have. So I don't think that the Lakers should panic and start moving tons of assets just because we didn't get Paul George. If anything, the fact that the LeBron James noise is picking up tremendously. OddsShark came out with updated odds. All of the sharps in Vegas started voting heavily on LeBron to the Lakers today. Thousands and millions, millions of dollars have been bet there. The odds changed dramatically, and now it's at like 5,000 to 100. So basically, Vegas says he's coming. All the sharks are spending all their money saying he's coming. So with that out, I feel like San Antonio's leverage goes down. Losing Paul George doesn't change the leverage in the trade, in my opinion. If anything, once LeBron signs, San Antonio loses a lot more leverage, and it makes the Lakers much more likely to trade for Kawhi. I hope they do. I hope they keep Brandon Ingram. But I've always been on the side where, get him at the trade deadline for less. It's not like the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs if LeBron signs.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about Kawhi right now? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I just really don't want to give up Brandon Ingram, and at this point, it seems like Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka are thinking the same thing. It's just a tough situation. I really hope LeBron would just come by himself. There were rumors that he wouldn't. So I hope LeBron still comes by himself. I think he will. DeMarcus Cousins is always an option, but like Kawhi, do you give up a young piece or two? I just don't know what kind of offer the Spurs really want at this point. They kind of, that kind of rumor that went around about LeBron opting in and not coming to the Lakers unless Kawhi Leonard was on the Lakers before free agency started. That kind of seemed to be BS. I just got a notification here. It's funny. So Paul George went to that party that Russell Westbrook was hosting tonight, and he went up on stage with Russell Westbrook and said, "I'm here to stay. We can bring it home." So it is confirmed already. Paul George, he wants to play with Russell Westbrook. I don't think they're going to win together. I said it last year, if they have the team they have and they don't have cap space like at all with Carmelo opting in, I don't see him getting far this year. So the exact contract hasn't been announced yet, but I'm guessing it'll probably be 2 years, maybe with a third year as a player option. So it looks like Paul George 100% staying with the Thunder. Someone said here he's not welcomed in LA forever. So let's say it is 1 year and a player option next year, the following year. What are your thoughts on maybe Paul George coming in the future? Do you want him now, or do you want him in a couple of years, or do you think it's over for the Paul George to Lakers talk?
I think it's always going to be noise because he's from LA. I tweeted emotionally right when I heard the news about how he's not welcome. I feel like I don't want him in a couple years on a supermax. I think that's what he's gunning for. If you watch part 2 of his little mockumentary, you can see that he basically was talking with his agent about a 2-1, and then so he can opt out after 2 years and sign a supermax. I don't necessarily want a 30-year-old Paul George for $37 million a year. But we'll see. We'll be able to know a little bit better about how he's going to age, because right now he's in the middle of his prime. And I guess everything depends on what the Lakers are doing, because honestly, they have these two maxes. They could have Kawhi. They could have LeBron. They could have Kevin Durant in 2019. He's signing a 1-on-1 for a reason. He might want to be moving. He wants player control. So you never know.
Yeah, well, I believe Paul George is he 28? Let me look that up here.
I think so.
So
I think he'll be 30 when he's
Paul
up.
George is 28. So when he hits that 30 years old, he can get that 35% of his team's salary, which if he does a 1-on-1 this summer, has a guaranteed year, and then has a player option the following year, something like that, then he can get 35% of his team's salary, which it's going to go up to like 116 million. It's projected. So, I mean, he's going to be making big bucks. And if he wants to sign maybe that super max in 2 summers from now, maybe that's
We
where
won't have the money. If the Lakers have the money in 2 summers, then we've made a lot of huge mistakes.
exactly, yeah.
This team is primed to pick up free agents now and win in the next couple of years. We're going to be signing our own guys. The Lakers are going to be signing guys like Ingram in 2 years. We're going to be paying other people. We're not going to be paying Paul George $45 million or whatever it comes out to.
Yeah, let me check these comments here. Ask some questions, guys. We got about 40 people in here now. LeBron isn't a good choice for Lakers are not a good choice for LeBron. I mean, I disagree. I think it's a perfect spot for LeBron, and he's in the end of his career. He's probably got 4 to 5, maybe 6 years left. The entertainment industry is insane in LA, and I don't even necessarily think he cares that much about winning anymore. I mean, obviously he does, but like there's so much more than basketball in Los Angeles. So I mean, I think it's a great spot for him to go.
Absolutely. I think that LeBron is going to be the centerpiece of the rebuild at this point. More than a rebuild. It's a restart. It's a restart for playoff relevance. It's going to be a superstar in his prime in LA. He's the draw. Every single borderline star player and vet that wants a ring is going to be wanting to sign for the minimum. You've always seen LeBron stack the deck when he comes to a city. So I can't imagine Magic goes, hey, LeBron, come play with all these rookies and second year and third year players by yourself. There's something in the works. Magic has a plan. I think in a few days we're all going to see what we missed. I saw some reports about Magic not necessarily pushing super hard for Paul George. I don't know if it was unsubstantiated on I can't really find very much supporting it, but it's possible that Magic has other plans that aren't even Paul George related. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone asked, well, here, let's answer this. Is it true LeBron is meeting with Magic Johnson? Yeah, it looks like LeBron and his agent were having dinner with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka right about now, right about 9 p.m. Pacific. That's a very good sign for the Lakers. Obviously, we talked about the odds of the negative 5,000 odds of LeBron coming to LA, which means if you bet $5,000 on LeBron coming to LA, and if he actually does, you only win $100. So, I mean, the odds are looking very good. That was like a fixed rate of like 98.04% of him coming to the Lakers. Obviously, that's not LeBron saying that. That's just Vegas odds and what the Vegas bettors believe. We have another question here. Is Houston still an option for LeBron? No, because they don't have the cap space for that. In order for LeBron to be able to go to Houston, he would have needed to opt into his contract and be traded to Houston. There's no way Houston, with James Harden, the super big contract he has, and Ryan Anderson is a mess. Eric Gordon has big money coming to him. And then they want to re-sign Chris Paul and Clint Capella. So they are going to be way over the cap. There's absolutely no way LeBron goes to Houston. He pretty much made that decision. He's not going to go to Houston, Boston, pretty much any team outside of Cleveland, LA, and Philly. No one else can afford him. Even Philly, they have about $26 million to spend this year, and LeBron's going to want 35, so they're going to have to shed about $10 million worth of salary if they want to go after him. But it's pretty much down to Cleveland and LA, and it sounds like LA at the moment.
As an aside to that, it's interesting. What we might talk about this later when there's a little bit less moving, but Houston might lose Trevor Ariza and not replace him with anything. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Houston's going to come back as strong as everyone thinks. They are going to be massively capped out. They'll probably keep Capella, but they're going to looking to lose Ariza, who was a huge part of what they were doing out there. So I see a big step back from the Rockets unless something crazy happens.
There was another question here. Where do you want to see DeMarcus Cousins want to go? I want to see him go to Washington, D.C. with John Wall. That's another team that has major cap space issues. They have John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter is making the most money on the team. So in order for that to happen, they would have to do a sign and trade with the Pelicans, probably send someone like Otto Porter over, which, I mean, that's going to be tough to do for both teams as looking unlikely there. But if they had the cap space, yeah, Cousins would be a great fit in DC. They just traded Gortat, so they currently have like Jason Smith or Jan Mahimi playing center. So, yeah, I saw Doug McDermott to the Pacers,
22 million.
Ersan Ilyasova to the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Paul. Wow, hold on. Someone just said, wow, Chris Paul signs it's officially 12:01. Chris Paul signs 4-year, $160 million max to stay with Houston.
Ooh, there goes everything for them, man.
That is $40 million a year. So, yeah,
LeBron That's a terrible contract.
LeBron to Houston, absolutely no way.
No, that's the biggest thing out there right now. That's a massive contract for an aging player with injury issues. Houston just signed their Steve Nash. I'm just going to say it. I love Chris Paul, former Laker, for 35 minutes or whatever. But he is an injury-prone, smaller guard in the twilight of his career, signing a massive contract. That is a terrible deal. Houston fans are going to lose their lunch in about 1 year when it comes out that he has, continued knee and leg issues and is out of the lineup for half the season for the next 3.
Let's see. So
No.
So yeah, Houston Rockets team payroll right now. James Harden, they got him locked up through like 2022. And then I believe he's got a player option. Yeah, player option 2023. So they got him for like 5 years, maybe 6. Chris Paul getting about $40 million a year. They got Ryan Anderson, who's got 2 years left, $20 million each year. Eric Gordon, $13 million a year for 2 years. They got PJ Tucker, who's still got 3 years.
Yo, you got some fuzz on your mic.
Sorry, let me
give it a wiggle. Did you tell him the Jabari Parker in Milwaukee might be interesting now? Ilyasova with the 21 million. They're gonna have to sign Parker at some point, and they're losing money there. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like DeAndre Jordan will meet with Dallas tonight. Sorry, let me redo this here.
Yep. I can't believe that Chris Paul trade, or excuse me, signing. That's enormous.
Yeah, that's a huge trade. That's a huge signing. That's insane. $160 million.
That's an enormous amount of money. Enormous.
Let's see what other questions we got going here.
Okay. Our audio is good.
What other free agents? So Rockets losing to the Warriors for the next 4 years.
They're not going to be able to sign Trevor Ariza unless they want to pay $500 million in taxes.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it to the Western. What do you think? Western Conference Finals? I don't even know if they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals anymore.
I mean, Chris Paul is coming up on there. He's got, what's he? Is he 32?
I think he's older than that.
Yeah, he's 33, just turned 33. So, I mean, they're going to have him through he's 36 years old. That's insane. What do we think about Paul George? We got a lot of Paul George stuff. I mean, it's someone I wanted, but he obviously didn't want to be here enough. He didn't. I mean, if LeBron comes, he didn't want to come here enough. He wanted to be with Russell Westbrook, so that talk is kind of over. Now that Paul George is out, will the Lakers be aggressive in a Kawhi trade? I still think their top 2 options are going to be Julius Randle and LeBron at the moment. I don't think there's a rush to get Kawhi at the moment. The Spurs are in a crappy situation and don't have much leverage on that. So, I mean, I don't see him giving up Ingram in a trade now.
No, it's too late. If LeBron comes too, it's a wrap. But I would look at something like a lot of picks and Kuzma and maybe some throw-ins. That's what I'd be offering at this point. We'll see how it goes. What would you be willing to give up right this second, TJ?
It looks like we just got confirmation that DeAndre Jordan will sign with the Dallas Mavericks.
It's gonna be fun.
Have verbally agreed on a 1-year deal approaching close to that $24 million option that he opted out. So he opted out, and I thought immediately he's not going to get anything close to that. But it does appear he'll get close to 20 to 25 million.
Mark Cuban hit him up on Stardust and said, dude, just decline the option. We'll give you the same money. Come play with us. They're going to have Doncic, and that's going to be interesting. I heard that the pick and roll is going to look really good with those two guys. What are your thoughts on DeAndre Jordan of Dallas?
I would have liked them to go younger. I mean, I think they could have made a really nice offer to Julius Randle. Just the way their team is going, Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic, they're looking to go young. And DeAndre Jordan's what, 30? Is he coming up on 30? 30. If not, he's 30 years old already. So a 1-year deal. We'll see if he actually signs it, or if someone tries to get him to not sign there. But it's an interesting thing. I think he fits well there, but I love to see them go younger for sure. Do we believe Kevin Durant is coming to LA in 2019?
It's possible. I don't think so either. I think he's doing this for money reasons, but he does keep the franchise in hand by signing that player control deal. So
yeah, a lot of these, Kevin Durant signed another 1+1, 1 year, and then 1-year player option. The cap space goes up every single year now, and players are just getting more money doing this. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron's contract, wherever he goes, is 1 or 2 years with a player option on top of that, because the cap space is going up $8 million a year, $7 million a year, and they can ink more money out of it by just making a new contract. And for a player like LeBron, that gives him flexibility to leave and go wherever he wants if he wants to. Someone said, I have a sick feeling that they're not going to sign anyone. What do you think? Jeremiah, what about that one?
Well, here's the thing. Technically, if they sign no one and let Randall walk, kill myself. But signing no one in I think the spirit of the question is signing none of these big guys. The Lakers are going to fill up the cap space. They're going to bring in more talent than they had this year and win more games than they won this year. So those are good things. The only disaster scenario is some stupid Maz Dang type thing where the Lakers come out and sign middling players for long-term deals. And Magic's not going to do that. There isn't any weird factors like giant spikes in the salary cap that contributed to that in the past. I'm not really worried about that. It would be a disappointment. It would show that the Lakers, in LA as a city, aren't this magical destination, and it would show that the franchise has a lot to work on. But keeping Randall, all the youth, and keeping the cap space is not a disaster. I think that's a very viable, plan C if they have to. If anything, I would rather sign Randall if LeBron doesn't come for some reason and we strike out on everything. Re-up Randall to a good contract and at least go for Cousins or something for 1 year. I'd rather have Cousins than nothing. I'd rather have Cousins than a mix of KCP and Brook Lopez, because the ceiling for a Cousins signing is very, very high. It's Western Conference Finals. If it all works out perfect. The ceiling for bringing back Brook Lopez, I mean, that doesn't do anything for you, for real. So what do you think?
I mean, I'd love to see the young core just continue to get better each year. I mean, they've made a 9-game improvement the last 3 seasons, winning 17, 26, and 35 games. So, I mean, the improvement they're making right now is insane. But adding a piece, to that, like LeBron or even one of these younger guys, would be great. But yeah, it'd kind of be disappointing if they didn't get anyone this summer. I just don't want them to miss out on everything and then not re-sign Randall. and then trade Ingram for Kawhi. I just don't want that to happen. So I would rather keep what we have now, keep all the young guys, than even go after Kawhi if LeBron doesn't come. But I have a very strong feeling that LeBron James will sign in the next couple of days. We have major move here. Ersan Ilyasova to the Bucks. I saw Joe Harris. Let me see. There was something about him as well.
That sounds like
I think he re-signed with the Nets, but Doug McDermott going to the Pacers, and they don't have a lot of cap space, but they had enough to offer someone like Julius Randle or maybe Aaron Gordon, one of these restricted free agents. They had the salary cap to offer one of these guys a contract, but now it looks like they won't. They're giving McDermott like $8 million a year. I don't really understand that. He's not that good of a player. I really felt like they should have gone after a big man, like a power forward position, but it looks like McDermott's deal is fully guaranteed, according to Woj.
Not a good deal either. I mean, he's got shooting. That's about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on McDermott as a player overall?
I mean, I don't really like him at all. He doesn't play any defense, and he's kind of slow, and he has some games where he can score, but I don't think that's a good signing right there. Aaron Baines will return to the Celtics, 2 years, $11 million. Just reported there by Shams. Obviously, Kevin Durant re-signing. Joe Harris re-signing to the Brooklyn Nets. Where will Melo go if he's bought out? LA, Houston, Denver.
Can't go to Houston. Houston. Yeah. Melo's a money guy. He's not going to sign. I mean, I guess with a buyout, he might sign low. What do you think? Do you think he's going to sign a vet minimum somewhere on a buyout, maybe?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think he agrees to a buyout. I mean, he's getting like $28 million.
Yeah, he just wants.
We have a question here. Can you explain restricted free agent and unrestricted? Restricted free agent just means that you can match any offer that someone else offers your player. If Julius Randle signs an offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers, the Lakers, I believe it's 5 days. They'll have 5 days to match whatever offer the Pacers gave him, and they can retain his rights. But unrestricted is the player can go wherever they want, and he's like automatically off the team. Like Chris Paul was unrestricted this year. He could have gone wherever he wanted. But again, someone like Randle, whoever gives him an offer, Aaron Gordon, Marcus Smart, there are a few guys this year. Whoever gives them an offer, and if they want to sign with it, the Lakers will have time to match that offer and keep their player. So is Kuzma going to get traded? I don't think so, no.
Another thing about Randle that's interesting is the Lakers extended the qualifying offer. That's like a smaller deal for this upcoming season. So say nobody offers Randle. You want to explain a little bit about what happens if he gets no offer sheets as an RFA, a restricted free agent?
With the what is his cap hold?
12 million, something along those lines.
Can they just sign him for that 12 million?
I think we have the right, as the Lakers have the right to just sign him under the qualifying offer. He'll have 1 more year. That's the Greg Monroe move. So Greg Monroe decided to accept his qualifying offer to make himself unrestricted because he thought he'd make a lot more money. And he ended up signing in Milwaukee, but it's kind of like a thing that some RFAs do, but it's rare because it's very risky, and some people have been hung out to dry doing that. So Randle wants a big money offer so he can leverage that against the Lakers, but the cap is not out there. Dallas, he's a Texas kid. Dallas was the big shot for him, and now that they're getting DeAndre Jordan, can you think of any places he might even go at this point? Who even has cap space for that?
Who are you talking about there?
Randle.
I mean, Brooklyn's definitely got a ton of cap this year, more cap next year. But again, we're talking about this year, and a team that has cap next year too is the Indiana Pacers. They really have Victor Oladipo, and then they have like 2 other guys under contract. But that's next year. This year, Philly can afford him. Brooklyn, Phoenix. Now Dallas cannot with signing DeAndre Jordan. So
And Randall.
Yeah,
Randall and Ayton would be a pretty sexy front court. Because Ayton can shoot and Randall can also score.
I had
that would be interesting.
One more question here.
Oklahoma City forward Jeremy Grant, 3 years, $27 million with OKC.
Huh.
That's interesting.
That's let's see.
They're spending a lot of money.
We had one more here. Where did I just see this? Oh, next year's free agents. Yeah, next year's free agents I really like. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard. I am a huge fan of Klay Thompson. I think he would fit really well in their offense with Lonzo Ball running things there. Also, Jimmy Butler. And again, guys like Kevin Durant. He signed a 1 year deal with a 1 year player option, so he'll be a free agent next year if he opts out. But really, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, and Kawhi Leonard are the three that I want to look at there.
Yeah, definitely Kawhi. That's going to be a big giant saga. If the Lakers don't end up trading for Kawhi, it's just going to be nonstop in the news, especially if LeBron's here. That favors the Lakers. If it's a daily story on, dysfunction in San Antonio, Kawhi wants to leave, his value goes down. So I'd like to see that.
Yeah, OKC said OKC spending all this money and not improving at all. Yeah, they're paying Westbrook like his supermax 40-something million, and then Paul George. I don't know what the contract is yet. I'm assuming 2, maybe 3 years. I
bet you it's 30, a 2 plus 1.
2 plus 1, 3 years, $90 million is probably what I would say there.
And the reason being, I believe if he signs that two-year deal, like you said, he gets into that next salary bracket. So he'll definitely be a free agent again in a couple of years, looking for some big giant send-off, golden handshake contract.
We also had, let's see, Will Barton, 4 years, $54 million. What are your thoughts on that one there?
I don't know much about Will Barton. It seems like one of those we did it because we had to Otto Porter kind of deals, which I never like. I don't like teams making decisions based on, but what if we lose a player? I like teams to invest in players they believe in. So I don't know. I don't know much about Will Barton, but that was an interesting contract for Denver. They're kind of like, what are they doing? Like,
yeah,
like what's the plan?
I mean, they just gave Jokic like way too much money.
And I mean, maybe they think he's great and maybe he's good. I saw some interesting numbers that show that he's a pretty decent star player to have.
Let's say the Lakers do get LeBron. We had a question here. What would you trade for Kawhi Leonard if the Lakers land LeBron? And if LeBron maybe says we need to get Kawhi here, what would you give up for him?
Well, those are two different questions. If the idea is if LeBron says I'm not signing there unless you bring Kawhi, then I would say, okay, Mr. James, announce that you're coming and we'll get him no matter what. If you announce that you're coming, San Antonio loses leverage. So first of all, that's how I would run it. So if you see LeBron, this is a good cue. If you see LeBron sign early with the Lakers, then the leverage is gone for San Antonio and a trade's more likely, in my opinion. If it was a conditional, if I knew that if I didn't get him, that LeBron's going to walk, then I would trade more. I would think about Ingram. If I knew for a fact Kawhi was coming with LeBron, I would consider Ingram begrudgingly, and I would likely not want to do that, but I would definitely listen. If LeBron's coming regardless and it's not a conditional for him, I think the best move is to offer Kuzma and one of our future firsts, and then maybe try and pull another team in, take a bad contract to get another first. So try to send 2 firsts, Zubac, Kuzma, and maybe one of our guys we got in the second round.
So we do have an update here. Paul George is signing a 4-year contract, 3 years and 1 player option. So he's locked. He is locked in there for a long time. He's got 3 guaranteed years, and then the 4th year of that contract will be a player option. 4 years, $137 million, which is roughly $34 million a year. That's a very big contract there. I mean, that's a lot of guaranteed years. Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking he was going to do a 1-1, maybe 2+2, or 2+1, but
he wants to be a Thunder.
Yeah,
He
wants
wants to live in OKC and have hurricanes and or tornadoes. I don't even know, man. Methamphetamine labs.
I think him and Russell Westbrook are just close. I think that's what it comes down to, and it seems like he wanted to play there. And in his part 2 of his documentary, he said there was some
unfinished business.
That's what he said. Yeah, so
no, I don't want any part of Paul George ever. Honestly.
Where could you see Derrick Rose? I think he goes right back to the Timberwolves. I don't think he's got much left.
Derrick Rose? I would love to see him in prison. Can we work that out? No, not a big D Rose fan. I think he's proven that the whole let's try it out and see if he can get back to his old self again thing has been tried and true and not really worked out. So I don't think he's really relevant, but yeah, I suppose they bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any other teams that would. I mean, maybe like the Orlando Magic don't have a point guard right now. I don't think he's got much left though.
No.
Yeah, KCP meeting with the Lakers tomorrow. Why do the Clippers always go after ex-Lakers? I mean, they're the worst Los Angeles team. Yeah, they really do. Like, they really get a lot. Jordan Farmar, Wesley Johnson. They get all these guys who have already been on the Lakers. I mean, we could go on. I could look at the rosters from 5. Probably got a dozen of the guys. Yeah, that's funny there.
No, man. Also, ex-Celtics because Doc. How about Doc trading his son away? We never talked about that. That was wild.
Yeah, I mean, the contracts matched up. I think it was 1 year, like 12 or 13 million. Doc is not the GM, though, so he didn't really even make that move. He stepped down from the front office. He's just the coach now, but, like, still, they probably reached out to him and were like, are you okay with this? I don't know how that goes in the front office.
Didn't Doc bring in the guy they hired as the GM, though?
I'm really not sure who that was.
Yeah, I think that the guy they hired is just a handshake guy. Doc's not in that role because they got a lot of heat for him being a dual role coach, and they never work out. But I really think that Doc still plays a lot into the Clippers' decision-making. I think the Jerry West decision-making weight is less than people think. I don't have any entertainment sources, but that's just my opinion.
Let's see. Who won the Wizards and Clippers deal? I think okay. So the Paul George player option for the 3rd year. Okay. That makes a little more sense then.
Did Woj get it wrong?
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. That's Jeremy Grant. Sorry. That's
No. Woj said 4, so it's 4.
No, he did. And then I saw he replied to himself saying the deal includes a player option for the 3rd year. I saw the word OKC, but it was for Jeremy Grant. 3rd year is a player option.
TJ from Big Baller Land slanders Woj on opening free agency. That should be the aggregation.
So let's see. What other question do we have here? Who won the Wizards and Clippers deal? I still kind of like Austin Rivers as a backup. So I think he's a good backup for John Wall. They clearly didn't want to move ahead with Gortat, so they got rid of him. OKC. Let me pull up the Thunder salary cap.
Kevin Durant, 2 years, $61.5 million. In case anybody cares about the numbers,
about $30 million a year. So we got Carmelo, $28 million. We got Paul George will probably be at 30. That's probably 60. They're probably at. They are probably at like 140 million next year.
Who? OKC?
Yeah.
Dude, man, that's killer. That's a lot of luxury tax.
They are at. Oh, let me see. Carmelo 27. Paul George is going to be at 30. Yeah, I mean, they're at least 140 million.
I don't understand that. So the owner decides to let James Harden walk over $8 million.
Yeah.
But will pay $30 or $70 million in taxes now to keep a middling first round exit junk squad together? What is that?
So
God, I hate this team.
with Paul George,
OKC is my second least favorite team in the NBA.
with
at this
Paul
point.
George and Jeremy Grant on the board, OKC now has a payroll of 156. The salary cap is 101. So their cap is now 156 with 11 players under contract. Wow, I mean,
they're going to be paying
their tax bill will probably be the largest in NBA history. Bobby
Do
Marks
you think
of ESPN.
where are their bad deals? Is Melo their bad deal?
Melo, I mean, 28 million.
Dude, there's no way that country bumpkin is going to pay all that. They're moving Melo. They're going to attach some assets to get him off.
They have Westbrook for 5 more years. They have Carmelo, 28 million. They have Steven Adams, 25 million over the next 3. And then they got Paul George for 34 million. So it's really that big 4. Roberson is 10 million, but he's the only one even close. But it's really those big 4. I mean, you're paying Westbrook nearly $40 million a year. That's a supermax contract is crazy to me. I can't believe the cap is getting this high.
No, that's nuts. They're moving. Don't you think that's definitely in play, that they're going to use future first to get some salary cap relief? How are they going to pay $100 million in taxes?
It's that I can't, man, that's so much to take in. Yeah, it's not even the issue of, okay, they're paying Melo, he's bad, they're over the salary cap. They're paying, when you get into the luxury tax, for every dollar you're paying that player, you have to pay another $1. So if they're paying $50 million into the luxury tax, they're actually paying $100 million, which it looks like they'll probably be at. So
that's like James Harden's entire extension.
For a small market team, you're in Oklahoma, small market. You're not going to the Western Conference Finals. You just got bad contracts, man. I cannot believe what I just don't know what Paul George is thinking there. They have no cap space to even remotely think about going after another player.
I'm shocked.
Let's see. No updates in the last few minutes here. Let's see.
So
let's go through some other questions.
Right now I'm chilling on this. So I'm at this Airbnb in the Big Island, and I'm sitting on the back patio, but it's under construction. So check this out. There's like no rail. So I'm gonna make sure I drink enough beers, but not too many, right?
And it's pretty early there. What's it? 6? It's like 6:30 or so.
Yeah, you got it. The sun's still up for me.
Yeah, Steven Adams. Yep, we saw these. What smaller moves do you see the Lakers making? What about Isaiah Thomas, maybe Brook Lopez, any other guards? I can send you a list here. I saw something here. What about some of those guys we had last year? Maybe 1-year guys.
Like a little Isaiah Thomas. Like little Isaiah. I can't say frequently that I am bigger than an NBA player. So I'm 6'1". I'm not small like some people, but I am taller than IT. I think as a bench scorer, he makes a little bit of sense. He's not getting any money. I mean, all the money's already getting gobbled up right now. There's not going to be anything for free agents. So maybe he comes back as a bench scorer. It really depends on LeBron and it's so hard to say at this point. Because LeBron's coming, and so who he brings makes a big difference. So
someone said Boogie Cousins to the Lakers. Talked about that a little bit. Is Westbrook a top 5 point guard? Got a question there. What do you think about that?
Okay, before I just dismiss it, I'm gonna kind of talk out loud and see how many we can get to. Steph, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So there's 1. If you count Harden as a 1 instead of a shooting guard, which most people do, that's 2.
I mean, I think Chris Paul is their point guard there. So I would.
Call Harden a guard? I feel like they play double point because Harden has the ball all the time. I mean, I guess you don't have to. So let's be gracious and not count Harden. Would you take Damian Lillard over Westbrook? You got embarrassed in the playoffs.
I don't think that's tough, but I don't even like Westbrook that much. I would probably say no. I'd probably have Curry. Yeah, I think Westbrook's top 5. I think he's right around the 4 to 5 range.
Run through him.
Curry, Kyrie,
Yes,
Westbrook.
definitely.
I mean, that's tough because
No, Kyrie for sure.
Kyrie and Lillard are similar. Westbrook, it just depends how you look at it. He's not a team player, but he's putting up triple doubles like crazy. He won MVP last year. Chris Paul, I mean, he's getting up there in age, but he's still. I mean, they went like in the first 34 games he played with the Rockets last year. They went 33-1.
Yeah,
he still makes an impact to the team.
Yeah, you think he's better than Westbrook? CP3?
All time,
assuming health.
And
assuming health.
I think it's close. I think they're both right in that 4 to 5 range. Ben Simmons is considered a point guard. We haven't seen really enough of him, but I think he's going to be up there this year.
Mitchell,
Kyle Lowry,
too, right?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's a shooting guard. Here I totally forgot John Wall. I think he's up there as well. Someone said Curry, Kyrie, John Wall, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook. I think that's probably
acceptable
right there. Yeah,
that's acceptable. Yeah, I guess so. It's weird to say that because he gets so much hate because of the way he plays. But actually, if you break it down, there's not as many superstar point guards as you think in the league.
Here we have Mark Stein. Let's see. He said he thought Paul George would take a 3-year deal with an opt-out after year 2. Incredible movement by Sam Presti. The small market team is making moves.
No,
I can't. I am blown away by this contract. Windhorst. Oh yeah, you can't really see it, but let me see if I can show you Windhorst. That's him right there.
Not a big fan.
So he is not a fan.
Neither
he
am I.
said he's blown away. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't understand what the Thunder are doing. They're a small market team. They don't have the money to be paying $100 million in luxury tax. So
to not win. Let's be clear. This team is not going to win.
The Warriors can do that if they want.
Yeah.
And they're not even that.
They're winning championships every year.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have a top. I would say you don't have a top 10 player in the NBA on this team, on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So. All right, let's roll.
So I've got an NBA expert that wants to weigh in real quick on Paul George to OKC. Close the door. Real quick. Hold on 1 second. Come on over. So this is my son Lee. Paul George did not go to the Lakers. He went to the Thunder. Tell our fans what you think about Paul George not going to the Lakers and who you think we should get.
Horrible. I think we should get LeBron James.
Why do you think we should get LeBron James?
Oh, because he's the best player in the NBA.
Oh, got him right there.
Got any other thoughts about NBA free agency?
Yeah. Maybe we could get some other good players.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully, yeah.
Happy birthday. 7 years old, right?
Yep.
Okay, go LeBron.
Go LeBron!
All right. Super cool to get Lee Witten there. He's breaking stuff like crazy, so he took some time to talk to Big Baller Brand. Very excited to see him.
He said LOL brought his son on the show. What a legend.
That's how we do, man.
All right.
Well, I mean, LeBron's going to turn the entire Clippers organization into his son here when he moves here, so that'll be nice.
All right, let's see. Lee is a top 5 insider. Someone said.
You got it.
All right.
He was not too pumped to lose PG either, so that's about.
Yeah, I know. You had to break that bad news to him. All right, drop some more questions here. We got about 45 people in here. Any other questions you got for us?
45 people? Guys, it's really important that you go to TJ's personal Twitter and follow him. He doesn't have a lot of followers. I have a lot of them. He doesn't. So if you could go to his personal Twitter it's AES Taylor, is that right? And hit him up. That's really huge. I really appreciate it. It's really
Lakers
really good.
Pulse, Big Baller Land. Follow us there. Twitter and Instagram both. Interact with both social media there.
Hit us with the questions. Let's do this.
Lee should be on TNT with Shaq. I'd like to see him on TNT with Chuck and the boys there.
You got it. He'd be like, "What do you know about championships, Charles?" That's all he needs to say. What do you know about championships, Charles?
Lee needs to replace Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, man. Every time Stephen A. Smith says something, I just assume the opposite's going to happen. Really nervous about this. Yeah, man. I think LeBron comes. I think he's almost a lock to the Lakers at this point, but I don't think it happens in the next couple of hours. I think he could take a day or two to think about it more. I don't think we'll see much from the Lakers in the next 24 hours or so, though.
You don't? So you don't even think any smaller deals are going to come through?
I think they really want to get worried about LeBron and Julius Randle, and I think form the team after that. I mean,
yeah.
I just think LeBron is the key point right now. Chances of LeBron coming, I think it's coming there. When will the Orlando Magic be good again? There was some talk about them trading, doing a sign and trade with Aaron Gordon, trying to get Kemba Walker because, again, like we said earlier, they don't have a point guard. So they got some good pieces. They got some nice young pieces there. Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba. They don't have a point guard. It's another small market team where I don't think they'll be good anytime soon.
How about the pick with Bamba, though? The length on that guy is insane.
Yeah.
His reach is...
He's got real good potential. But again, in the situation where they have, what's his name? The defensive big man they have, Bismack Biyombo. They have him locked up. They have Vucevic locked up. So, I mean, I don't know how much Mo Bamba is going to play his rookie year. Jeremiah, we talked about this on the podcast last week. Someone's asking about the draft picks. What do you think about Mo Wagner?
I think that Wagner's elite shooting is huge for a big. Stretch 5 is what we're talking about when we talk about Mo buckets. I'm excited about the name Mo. You can do so many Mo puns than you could ever imagine with the name Mo. So I love that. Didn't know anything about him or who he was. Never saw him play basketball. Never heard his name. So that's weird for a first round pick.
And the Lakers always do that too.
Yeah, I was in, I think I was in Venice, Italy during the last draft, and I was like, "Who's Kuzma?" And you and all the other guys at Lakers Pulse were like mad that we didn't pick. I don't even know, some rando who never worked out.
No, yeah, we wanted like EK from UCLA, and Kyle Kuzma got drafted, and there were like 4 of us doing like this YouTube live thing, and we were all like, "Really?" Like, there's so many guys available, and they took this guy who seemed to be like a similar player of Julius Randle and Larry Nance. It was just another power forward. So really confused at the time, but that was a great pick, obviously, there. I think Mo Wagner is going to be a really good player and fit really well in the Lakers offense. He's the stretch big, runs the floor real well. I think Lonzo Ball, they really made moves in the draft to help Lonzo Ball and fit this offense. And Svi Mikhailuk, their second round pick from Kansas, can shoot the ball like crazy. He
reminds me of Penberthy. Remember Penberthy? The Lakers signed forever ago when they won their championships. A guy to come in and shoot threes.
Yeah,
sniper. So I'm cool with that.
After the news of Lonzo's injury, it was announced he tore his left meniscus. Do you see him as a top 5 point guard in the future? I don't think this injury is a big deal at all. I mean, he'll be ready by training camp. Jeremiah, what's your take on that? I mean, in a way, I feel he had a left knee injury towards the end of the season a couple months ago.
It's the same thing.
And it's the same thing. I mean, I don't know if people are joking around. I don't know if this is at all having to do with Lonzo rumors of being traded. You can't trade a player who's hurt. I don't think it affects his future at all. He'll be fine by training camp. He wasn't going to play in NBA summer. He wasn't going to play in the summer league anyways. Frank Ntilikina, future top 5 point guard. What do you think about Lonzo Ball and his injury there?
I don't think there is any new injury. I think it's just recycled reports from the past. I don't know why. Maybe it's leverage for trade stuff. Maybe it's not. I know he's been putting on a ton of muscle, and I know he was very underrated as a defender this past year. So I'm excited about Lonzo's next season. I read a really good article by Pete at Laker Film Room about LeBron's potential fit in LA and what that might mean for Lonzo. And for all the talk about, oh, Lonzo needs the ball in his hands. Who did you watch Lakers games? He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. He's an excellent off-ball player too. The main thing is he's a phenomenal defender and he has good court vision. And he's athletic. So, I mean, come on. I'm down for that. No problems.
So Mark Stein tweeted here, money is so tight this summer that free agents and teams are not waiting on LeBron James, as we've seen in the past. Teams have little amount of cash, and free agents are going out because, like we said, teams – oh, we got a little something here. Teams don't have salary caps, so they're not going to wait on, seeing what the other free agents do. They just want to get their guys and get out of it. Trevor Ariza has signed 1 year, $15 million with the Suns. They have the cap to do that, so that's fine for them. What do you think about that?
I love it. Ariza is a great guy. I love him. Former Laker, former champ. I'm glad he's not in Houston.
Yeah, I don't think they're anywhere close to. Yeah, I think probably once they signed Chris Paul, that huge 4-year deal, he pretty much knew he needed to get out of there. So, yeah, I think it's a good piece for them, and it's a good veteran experience that they have on the team now. So
it's going to keep them out of the lottery. They'll be out of the top 5 in the lottery for sure.
Yeah. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be bad like they have been in the last couple of years.
A little nuance for you guys who care. So Oklahoma City, because of their past issues with the tax, are repeaters. Get a load of this bill. $130 million tax bill. That's the tax. You think they're going to shell out $286 million for one season's worth of payroll? There's no way, dude. I guarantee Melo's moving. I guarantee it. And that's why Paul George isn't talking about him. Have we heard any reports about Paul George hanging out next to Melo at the party? Because I think he's gone. He's been talking about Westbrook.
I don't. If Melo says, "Oh, I don't want to agree to a buyout," I mean, they're going to have to attach picks.
Trade him.
They're going to have to trade him to. I don't know. Again, no one's got the cap space, so I mean,
Atlanta could do it. The Lakers could do it. Philly could do it.
If you attach multiple for, I don't even know. I mean, if they take back Luol Deng, I mean,
it would save them.
It would save them each year. It would, get rid of Luol Deng from the Lakers, and you got to attach a pick to that or something if you're OKC. But
I would absolutely sign. I would sign up for that trade immediately. A first and Melo for Deng, 100%. Because we're getting rid of everything. We're getting rid of all of Deng's money.
Oh, how about this? Someone said, "Does Melo have a no trade clause?"
Oh, he used to.
He used to, but I think, did he waive that, or did he, not waive that? I don't.
Let me Google.
On his way to OKC from the Knicks, I think he has one no trade clause per contract. Is that? I don't know if that's how it works. I know he has had a no trade clause for years though.
Yeah, so he waived the clause for that trade. We just need to figure out whether or not it's gone or he still has that in place.
Ed Davis signing 1 year, $4 million with the Nets. Nothing too exciting there. Another former Laker. Oh, yeah. So someone said he looked it up. It looks like he still has the no trade clause. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
He's not going to exercise that against the Lakers trade. You think Melo doesn't want to come to LA and make the same amount of money?
Maybe play with LeBron. Yeah, so
he'd definitely ride out for sure. I can report that. Sources say. Carmelo
Is
Anthony's not going to exercise the no trade if he
yeah.
gets traded to LA.
Is Ariza to the Suns $15 million a good deal? I think it's fine. I mean, it's $1 million. They'll have him off the books next year. Where would Tyreek Evans fit? What are your thoughts on Tyreek maybe going to the Lakers? They'll have some cap space now that Paul George isn't here. What are your thoughts on maybe Tyreek maybe coming off the bench? I mean, I sent you a text. There are a bunch of guys there.
He
can
buckets.
run through some of these.
Tyreek Evans gets buckets.
I mean, there are people like JJ Redick. I think he'd fit real nice in the offense.
Much rather have Redick than Evans because
even
Redick is a dead-eye shooter.
Even Wayne Ellington, these guys who can shoot. Joe Harris just re-signed.
I think
Bellinelli.
we did the Wayne Ellington experiment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We tried that.
That
was during the bad time, though. That was the 17 and 65 Lakers.
Oh, may it never happen again. Okay, so just so everyone knows, I'm getting tons of old tweet retweets now from all the OKC fans. So don't even go on my anything.
Let's see here.
On Twitter, it's a dump.
All right. Any other questions we got coming on here? Yeah. So with Paul George not coming, how do you think this affects Brandon Ingram? Someone said he thinks he can average 20 points a game. I mean, that's a big person not to have. So I think it really helps out Ingram in the future. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Anytime you have less stars that need the ball to produce and less production, you're going to see more out of the people you have. Paul George not coming. Again, it depends. If LeBron signs and Kawhi gets traded for, even if Brandon Ingram isn't in the deal, his numbers will probably go down. But he's been consistently improving across the board. So I feel like he's just waiting for that moment to be leaned on and explode. Once the jumper starts sinking like it did in college, you never know. I mean, I see it as a possibility this season that he could do 20 points. It depends on how it breaks, but if LeBron comes and no one else, I think Ingram would be one of his go-to kicks and wide open mid-range jumpers and threes. Plus, Ingram is excellent at attacking closeouts. So if you have another playmaker on the Lakers drawing double teams and with excellent court vision like LeBron, Ingram could very easily increase offensively.
Yeah. We had a question here. What about DeMar DeRozan? Would we trade for him? Well, he's got 2 years, and then he's got a player option that he could very well take.
At a bunch of money, huh?
$27 million a year. I would say no, thank you.
Nope. I'll pass. I'd rather just not have anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if it was 1 year and the Lakers aren't getting Paul George and they'll have the salary cap, 1 year, if they can give us something back, a young piece or some sort of cash or a pick or something, but $27 million for 3 years to potentially, if he takes on the player option, I'd definitely say no. Prediction on the Lakers starting five for the 2018-2019 season. I think it's Lonzo Ball. I don't know if Kuz starts. I think it's Lonzo, LeBron, and Wagner. I think those are the three definites for me. Maybe Josh Hart at the 2 and Brandon Ingram at the 3. Well, if right now, what would you say the starting lineup is? We don't have information on LeBron yet, but what do you think the starting lineup would be right now?
You think Hart can play the 2?
Josh Hart?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Solid 2. I think he'll be our 2 because if you look at all the scenarios the Lakers are looking at, a lot of it is signing small forwards. So I think Zoe, Hart, Ingram, LeBron, Wagner, or Randall in small ball lineups.
Yeah. Oh, Randall. Yeah, it's tough too. I mean, I didn't even think about that.
I still want to start Randall if I can.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd rather. Who would you rather? This is a great question. Great question, Jeremiah Witten. Who would you rather start if you had to choose, Ingram or Randall?
I would probably say Randall. I think, man, he's like almost 24. He's just meant to start at this point, I think. And Ingram, I feel like if you get LeBron, I think Randall is much more important to the starting lineup. So yeah, I would probably say Randall in that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think also if you look at the second unit situation, if you have Ingram coming off the bench against other teams' second unit forwards, just that's a wrap.
So, or someone said, what about, oh yeah, Derrick Rose is finalizing a 1-year deal to Minnesota. So yeah, I did correctly guess that there. What about starting both? Maybe like you said, small ball 5, and then maybe LeBron, Ingram, and then Josh Hart and Lonzo. So yeah, they definitely could start both.
Yeah. And if LeBron doesn't come, obviously they'll
Mo Wagner starting for the Lakers. I just think his play style is going to fit real well with Lonzo Ball, and I want him on the court as much as I can with Lonzo Ball. I think that's where he's really going to thrive.
Are you pretty much out on Lopez at this point now that we have Wagner and we're hoping to re-sign Randall?
No, because they got rid of Thomas Bryant, and I think I wasn't sure how much he'd be on the team anyways. But if we can get LeBron for sure, and if we can get Brook Lopez on a minimum deal, I would definitely have Lopez. But I mean, he started last year, and how many minutes did he play? I mean, he started, and it seemed like every game
he missed a lot of threes.
Yeah, it was like every game he would start, he would only play 20 to 22 minutes. It seemed like so. He didn't even really play that much. I probably wouldn't start him over Wagner at this point. I mean, I just want to see what Lonzo can do with Wagner at the center position. I want them on the court as much as I can together.
I'm kind of over Lopez because I'm tired of the fast break issues that he doesn't have lateral movement. I'd like to see if Wagner can run the break and hit threes.
Yeah.
Although interestingly, more times than not, late in games, Lopez was a huge asset. I saw him win games, straight up win games in the fourth. So, if anything, I'd bring him back as a bench big to close. But I don't want him back. I'd rather try other things.
Yeah, I mean, Nerlens Noel is definitely an option. I haven't seen anything on him. Let me see. Was there anything on Noel? Let me check Twitter real quick here. No, I haven't seen anything on Noel yet, so he's definitely an option there.
Shoot. Noel on the minimum? Please,
if they can get him for the minimum, yeah.
Yeah, nobody else wants him. Dallas doesn't have any money. They don't want him. I would definitely like to. I would even make a small investment if it was prudent. And for like a 1-1 with a team option on the second year, I think that would be an excellent decision.
Let's see. Yeah, Noel wants too much money. Yeah, I mean, here we have another Randall to the Nets. Possibly they have the cap space there. They could reunite him with his buddy D'Lo.
Yeah,
I'd maybe be more of a Nets fan.
Hands off my Randall.
Would a sign and trade with Isaiah or Randall with Kuz, Hart, and first round pick? So, would a sign and trade with Randall, Kuzma, Hart, and multiple first round picks for Kawhi work, or is it too much? So Randall, Kuzma, and Hart, and maybe 2 first round picks for Kawhi. Would you give that up? I mean,
that's the line where if it's contingent for LeBron, yes. If not, no. Including Hart with Kuzma for me, including Hart with Kuzma only happens if it's contingent. If LeBron's gonna come either way, I would hold on to Hart. Hart put up 30 in his last game as a rookie. I feel like he's a phenomenal defender. He's more than a 3-and-D. He's a solid rotation player.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a Ariza-ish. People are saying they won't give him up.
Yeah,
everyone's going to say that. A lot of Laker fans are just not going to want to give anyone up. But it's Kawhi Leonard. He could be an MVP of the NBA.
Caspi going to the Grizzlies. Not really important. Got an interesting question. Which team is the least talked about team in the whole NBA? I mean, we don't really talk about the Charlotte Hornets at all. The Grizzlies. Yeah.
Nobody talks about the Grizz.
Should they trade Kuzma or Ingram? I would love not to. I like both of those guys really a lot.
I would be okay giving up Kuzma for, in a Kawhi trade. Yeah, that's about it.
Maybe the Kings. Yeah, Kings as well. Any other questions you got? Keep them going. Free agency, not popping yet. It's about 1 hour into free agency. Probably won't hear much about LeBron at all in the next 12 hours. So I think I might sleep well tonight.
You never know. Like I said, if he declares early before 4th of July, then I'm thinking Kawhi maybe more likely.
Let me check. Someone said something about Zach Lowe. Let's see. Looks like Jeremiah will be right back. Zach Lowe said that Paul George told OKC. Yeah, that's interesting that he was staying weeks ago. And that's something they need to do. They need to get rid of Carmelo. They got to move him somewhere. It looks like Jeremiah had to step out for a second. Fire away these questions. We got probably another 15 to 20 minutes in here. Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins to LA definitely has the injury concern. I mean, like, a torn Achilles is nothing to mess around with, especially if you're 6'11" and 260 pounds. He's a big boy. He puts a lot of weight on that Achilles, so that's tough for him. I could see him doing like a 1 year, $24 million or something. Yeah, Bogey and Randall, that would be insane. That's a reason why I kind of liked Randall. I mean, I love Randall, but I think he'd be a great fit in Indiana with Miles Turner there. Bully ball there, yeah. Timberwolves, let's see.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Some technical difficulties involving the restroom.
It looks like the Timberwolves began free agency by informing Jimmy Butler that they intend to offer him a maximum contract extension in the 4-year, $110 million range as soon as he's eligible to sign it next week. So it looks like they might offer him about $26 million a year. I mean, he is a free agent next summer, so he's got a lot of options there, though.
What would you do if you were in his position? Would you sign that?
I mean, it sounds like he does not want to play with Andrew Wiggins. So, again, the cap issues next summer, too. Not a lot of teams have a lot of cap, so I would just have to look more into that. Should the Wolves trade Wiggins if they can? Definitely. If the Wolves can trade Wiggins, I mean, he's just not a good basketball player. So Karl Anthony Towns is a very good player. And if he wants to play in Minnesota, I think Jimmy Butler, sure, go ahead and take that. But not even that much money. All these players getting $40 million, and Jimmy Butler gets offered
110,
$27 million. So I mean,
that's kind of disrespectful for a player who's very talented. I don't know.
Someone said, "What would you think about a front court of DeMarcus Cousins and Julius Randle starting? Like how crazy the bully ball that would be."
Ooh, Cousins and Randle, interesting combo. I'd be open to it on a 1 year to see how it would go. Yeah. Seeing, you'd have dual threat and then Cousins can shoot. Defensively would be interesting. I don't know who would take any true bigs defensively with that front court. What do you think?
I mean, I said I'd love it for a year, maybe like a year, $24 million or so, just to see how it goes. But we talked about the injury he had as a torn Achilles, and that's an injury you don't want to mess around with, especially if you're that big of a player. He's 6'11", like 270. So I'm not sure if he'll be the same player. I'd definitely take a chance maybe for a year, though. Someone said, is Andrew Wiggins overpaid? He's making like $30 million a year over the next 5 years guaranteed. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He wasn't even a max
guaranteed.
guy.
He's guaranteed $154 million. So over the next 5 years. So yeah, last year he was making $7.5 million. That was the last year of his rookie contract. But I think it was last summer he signed that mega deal. I mean, it's huge, $154 million. And they're only it's allegedly they're only offering Jimmy Butler $110 million, who's a better player than Andrew Wiggins. So,
no, that was a bad deal. And it was weird too. Do you remember when that got signed? It was like the owner didn't want to offer the money until he talked to him face to face. It was really bizarre. And
so one of the guards that I did want to look at, Marco Bellinelli, it appears he's signing a 2-year deal, $12 million with the Spurs. So that's another guy just off the board there.
I gotta plug my laptop in. I'll pop out for 1 minute.
All right.
Back.
Clippers, I saw that. Clippers are saying they're focused on Kawhi next offseason. That whole issue with Kawhi and the Spurs, really confusing at the moment, but it sounds like he definitely wants out. While Jeremiah is out here, feel free to subscribe. We got some YouTube videos. It's been like a month since I've put one up, so we're going to keep doing YouTube videos, continue asking questions, share this on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you came from. We'd appreciate that. Biggest winners so far, I'd say the Oklahoma City Thunder are losers at the moment. They're in a big hole. Winners? Where are you checking all these news? I got notifications on for everyone. Pops up on my phone instantly. We haven't really seen much, so I don't think there's any big winners so far. I think the Rockets gave Chris Paul way too much money. So I don't think there's been like really a big winner yet. Gerald Green, another guard I wanted, returning to the Houston Rockets on a 1-year deal. $1 year, $2 million. Any other questions you have? Any comments about not only the Lakers, but any free agents, any trades? Bellinelli back to the Spurs, yep. How many more years does Willie Cauley-Stein have in his contract? Let's see. What draft was he in? Was he the D'Angelo Russell draft? If so, he'll be a restricted free agent next year. Let me pull that up here. Willie Cauley-Stein. Yep, it appears he is a restricted free agent next year. I could be wrong on that. What draft was he in? I think it's Bijan. Who has a bigger chance of getting traded for Kawhi? Kuzma, Ingram, or Hart. I don't think the Lakers are interested in trading Ingram. I really think it comes down to maybe a Kuzma and Hart. Lakers should go after Willie Cauley-Stein. He's a good defensive big man. I'm not a huge fan of him. He was drafted in 2015. Yeah, so I believe it looks like he's a restricted free agent next summer. Yep. With D'Angelo Russell Do you think Isaiah would stay in LA? I mean, I think there's other options. I just think he's maybe gonna want like a 1 year, 15 million. I don't really want to give him that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, nothing about LeBron yet, unfortunately. Probably won't know. Maybe for another 12 hours at least. I would guess it's probably going to be July 2nd or July 3rd, where we'll probably hear something big. Jeremiah, you back? Oh, Jeremiah's back, but I can't hear him. No, hold on. No, unfortunately, cannot hear you, Jeremiah. Oh, he left. He will be back in a minute. Woj just said Lakers are showing real interest. Is that the real Woj? Let me check here. Probably on Monday, yep.
We good now?
Yep, we are
Rock
good
on.
there.
All right, NBA fans, let's do this.
All right. Let's see. We talked a little bit about Isaiah, bringing him back. Yeah, I hope the Lakers don't become desperate and sign players like Mozgov and Deng. Well, luckily, we haven't heard anything bad so far because Mozgov's contract happened like at 12:06, literally right away. So nothing bad like that.
Who do you think is the Mozgov? If you're looking at the current available free agents, aside from a very risky, injury-prone Chris Paul on a massive max, who do you think is the Mozgov that might go in the next hour, 2 hours, day?
Man, that's tough because there's not a ton of free agents, but the real issue is there's not a ton of cap space out there. There's only like 7 or 8 teams with like true cap space. So yeah, I can't even think of anyone at the moment.
Maybe like a longer deal for Ariza would have been bad.
Yeah, something like
a 3 or 4 year deal for him would have been
exactly. Yeah, that could have been like a Luol Deng type thing.
That McDermott contract, that's a bad contract already.
Oh, on ESPN, Woj was on ESPN. Someone said Woj was on ESPN saying that the Lakers are showing real interest in Boogie.
Okay.
Do you think Portland should trade either CJ or Dame? They're another team who's got major cap issues. I think they should keep those guys, but I'd love to see them try to make moves around them to help them out. Are we going to stream tomorrow? I'd love to stream tomorrow too. If we hear more about LeBron, definitely hop on if we can.
Most def, 100%.
Paul George said he wanted to go to LA last year and Lakers didn't trade, waited until free agency. Can't make the same mistake with Kawhi. Like I said, like we started this off and all the free agents in the past 5 or 6 years, I've been like, yeah, they could come to the Lakers, but Paul George was the one guy for the past 12 months. The past full year, I thought it was 100% coming to the Lakers. I don't really think they're in the spot where they need to trade for Kawhi. What are your thoughts on that, Jeremiah? Someone said the Lakers missed out on trading for Paul George when they thought they were going to get him in free agency, and now he's re-signing, and the same thing could happen with Kawhi.
That's true. I think the one major difference there is Kawhi has this injury thing going on, which is a big red flag, mitigating factor, value decreaser. I mean, Paul George never had something like that where the Lakers were like afraid of that. And there wasn't really any benefit to letting Paul George air out in OKC. I do think they missed an opportunity, especially if they could have made it happen for Clarkson and picks or something like that. I don't know if that wasn't really realistic at the time, I guess. But with Kawhi, waiting until the trade deadline gives us a chance to see if we're buying damaged goods or not as the Lakers. So there is some benefit to waiting as opposed to just giving up the farm for him now.
We had a question here. Are the Pistons the most average team? Again, they're a team. It's just a reoccurring thing. They don't have a lot of cap space, and really, no one wants to play in Detroit. That's a really tough problem there. No one wants to go in the cold. It's not a great area. They have Blake Griffin locked up for like 4 more years. It was 5 and 173. So I'm assuming now it's 4 years, probably 140 something or so.
Blake Griffin's going to break. He's going to break.
Do you think Kawhi could still get the 5-year max contract? It's going to be hard to repair that relationship there. I would say no, but I mean, the NBA is crazy, and who knows, really.
I don't think they were ever going to give it to him. I don't know if that Supermax was ever on the table, 200 whatever million. I don't know. But certainly not with all of this nonsense going on over there. I really feel bad for San Antonio fans. All the OKC fans are celebrating their future second round or first round losses and at our expense. But we weren't really, as a franchise, dependent on Paul George coming back. San Antonio, as a franchise, is dependent on Kawhi coming back. If they lose him, Pop's leaving or retiring or dying or something. He's very old. So there's that. He was going to be the next step for them. And if he's gone, they don't have very many assets. One interesting thing that I heard floated around a little bit by people who don't really know much on ESPN LA was Pau Gasol coming back in that trade. What are your thoughts of taking a quote-unquote bad contract for San Antonio and Pau Gasol? But for the Lakers, that'd be huge to bring Pau back.
Yeah.
Fan favorite, Lakers champion. He could finish his career here. It seems like a win-win for the franchises in that kind of a deal. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing. He left the Lakers, unfortunately, because he wanted to go win. So, yeah, I think if LeBron comes and if they really can compete and if Kawhi gets here, I mean, I think that'd be a great way to end his career. And he was here 10 years ago and he was winning. He won 2 championships. So that'd definitely be cool to see. I wouldn't necessarily want to start him just because his defense is very poor. But maybe something like off the bench. Yeah, I'd definitely consider that.
I would prefer doing that and getting Kawhi in the deal, obviously, than re-signing Brook Lopez for the same role.
Someone said, someone said, what are the winners of free agency so far? And I really didn't see any.
Phoenix,
maybe that 1-year deal with Ariza. Someone said the Warriors are a clear winner in free agency, getting KD to re-sign kind of like on a discount. So, yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely key for them to keep that core together.
Yeah, Warriors win at life. They win the championship. It seems like they're winning free agency simply by the fact that they got a one-on-one from KD, so that's good.
So obviously the Lakers didn't get Paul George, but if they get LeBron and Kawhi, do you think they can compete with the Warriors? Do you think they can get to the finals?
Well, we just saw the Houston Rockets get 7 games with the Warriors, and I think that a current Lakers core plus Kawhi plus LeBron is better than that Rockets team. So I would say yes, they definitely could contend. Obviously, Iguodala was out, but Golden State's not going to come back the same, and who knows how the new support pieces coming around are going to fit. So we'll see, but certainly they're going to be in the discussion. So that would be a nice thing for the Lakers.
Continuous questions. What are the chances LeBron goes to the Lakers? I think it's very good. I mean, I think it's going to happen in the next 48 hours. Jeremiah, are you still on that? Are you still thinking LeBron's definitely coming?
Oh yeah. No, I don't see the sharps in Vegas putting real money on those ridiculous odds. I don't see how that happens without him being a lock.
Yeah, and I can explain this again. The odds came out today of LeBron going to the Lakers were minus 5,000, which means you have to put $5,000 out there to even win $100. So the odds, the implied total percentage of LeBron coming to the Lakers was 98%, and that's put out there by Vegas. So if let's say LeBron goes to any other team, the 29 teams in the field, the odds of him going there were plus 1,500, which if you put $100 down, you win $1,500. So like it's easy. I mean, it probably would have been smart for us to, put $10 on the field, because if you win $150. So there's no reason why Vegas would do that. They lose thousands of dollars. So they obviously know something. Obviously, it's not LeBron and his camp, putting out rumors, but Vegas knows something, and they wouldn't just like intentionally lose money like that.
And just to dig deeper down into the numbers, what happens is the odds are determined by betting. So the reason a line would jump to 5,000 like that would be the sharps or the big money bettors who do this for a living in Vegas. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in bets from these guys each. They all started pouring in money that LeBron would go to the Lakers. So that changed the line and basically moved it to a point where no one can even bet it at this point. He's coming. We're talking about millions of dollars lost, and these guys don't do that. So I think he's coming.
So what if LeBron does not come? We got a question here. Are you nervous for the Lakers if LeBron doesn't come? And I think I'm just nervous that Magic is going to freak out and trade too much for Kawhi Leonard. I'm not worried about the future at all. I think there's more free agents next year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and the only worry is that they give up a potential star player like Ingram when they don't have to.
Yeah.
Or they sign a bad contract that's long. And doesn't seem like guess the one thing, a panic move where we bring in Cousins for like on a multi-year deal, like a 3 or 4 year deal, is something that is definitely within the realm of possibility. I feel like Mitch and Jim would have already done that. That would be very scary. I mean, I would be like, yay, we got a maybe superstar, but I would be, peeing my pants if we did something like that.
Yeah, people really underestimated the squad. 35 wins without LeBron. And a lot of players were hurt. Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram didn't play much together last year. So I think with or without any big name free agents, the Lakers are making the playoffs next year. I think they're going to make another big jump. Did Derrick Rose's deal get finalized? It cannot be finalized until July 6th. But I think it was like $2.5 million for 1 year or something. So I believe it was $2.5 million or something. We had another question. Lakers Zone 16 from Instagram. Welcome. So LeBron, maybe it's not. We talked about this earlier. Maybe it's not all basketball related. It could be like the lifestyle change for him. What other reasons outside of basketball do you think LeBron would consider coming to LA?
Well, obviously the weather is nice, but more importantly, he lives here. I'm 32, similar to LeBron in age. I have kids. If I had to make an employment decision on family issues, it would be, where I want my kids to go to school, where my family wants to live, lifestyle, the ability to use wealth. So LeBron has wealth. That's established. He's
something. Let me jump in here. He has so much wealth that it was just announced a couple hours ago. Wherever he signs this summer, his total earnings for his career will be $1 billion. Now that's about $350 million in salary, and then 65% of that is in endorsements. So he's coming up on money made in the NBA while he's playing in the NBA, $1 billion. So yeah, I mean, ton of money for him coming in. Most of it endorsements, though.
And what I was basically saying goes along with that is once you have in the hundreds of millions of dollars, having the money is not the only thing. I mean, using the money, access to what you would need to build your wealth and to use it is better in a big market.
Yeah.
We already saw him go to a place like Miami instead of Cleveland the first time around, partially for lifestyle, for comfort.
Yeah.
And because it's a better place to live. And when you're an older guy and you're thinking about the downside of your career, do you really want to live in a city where the river catches on fire? Do you want to live in a city where unemployment is high? Do you want to live in a place where, and I understand that that's where he's from, But now he can go where he wants, and I feel like LA is an amazing place to
Yeah.
live. The traffic is garbage, but he can use helicopters like Kobe does.
Yeah, for sure. Someone said LeBron isn't coming back unless the Cavs make a trade for maybe someone like Kemba Walker. Yeah, if you take LeBron off the Cavs, you take LeBron off the Lakers, and the Lakers and Cavs play, I think it's easy to say the Lakers are a better team. So, like, the Cavs really are in cap space trouble. They have Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson who are locked up for a couple more years. I mean, I think it's easy to say that the Lakers have a better team, in a brighter future. So, yeah, unless the Cavs really somehow make a move to get another player, there's no way I think LeBron resigns.
Definitely not.
Any other questions we have? We probably got about 10 more minutes on here.
The sun's setting. That's why I'm slowly but surely getting darker.
Yeah, so let's see. LA biased. Maybe he was talking to you, Jeremiah. You're LA biased, it seems.
That's a fact. I am LA biased. I actually live in San Diego, which is better than LA, but we don't have a basketball team currently, so LA is the next best thing.
All right. And we have, let's see. Any other questions? Drop them down here. Yeah, definitely. Paul George, do you think he can regret his decision? I mean, it's a big contract. It's 4 years where the fourth year is a player option. So he's locked in there no matter what for 3 more years. That's going to be extremely tough for him.
That team's going to suck.
I mean, the one thing about Russell Westbrook, he really thrives on his athleticism. And he's coming up on 30 years old. Your athleticism doesn't stay with you in your mid-30s. So
mine does, but
yeah.
You're talking about most guys like Westbrook. I'm still a baller.
I got a question.
Most 30-year-old guys.
Yeah. If every team had the cap space to get LeBron, where would you want him to go? Not the Lakers. That's a tough one.
It's a good question.
If teams had cap space, ooh, man. Let's see. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think it'd be fun to see LeBron in Philly, and they do have the cap space.
With one move, they can get him easily. Yeah,
that would be fun to see. I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be interesting to see him with those young guys. There's a lot of athleticism there, a lot of talent in Philadelphia, a lot of burner accounts. So it'd be interesting to see LeBron brings with him a certain cachet, a certain level of drama. So add that to the way that Philly fans are. It'd be interesting to see if they hated him real fast or not.
Someone said, how do you think the fans will treat Paul George when he plays in the Staples Center? He was never on the team, but they're going to boo him because he pretty much made a commitment a year ago. Said we got fined for tampering because when he was with the Pacers, because Magic Johnson talked to him and they said Paul George said he wants to be on the Lakers, and he kept saying all year he wants to play in LA. So I would boo him for sure. Do you think? Let's see. Does Philly panic and sign a bad contract? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's much to offer a bad contract for. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Philly panics if they don't get LeBron? Maybe signs a bad contract for a couple of years?
Well, like you said, I mean, the only bad contract to be had is a multi-year deal for Cousins without knowing about his injury history. There's not any. Avery Bradley hasn't been signed yet, right? So
no, but there was a report.
Weird and give him a bunch of money.
Avery Bradley will meet with the Clippers tomorrow or tonight, whatever.
He'll probably just re-sign with the Clippers. There's no money out there. See, that's the thing about free agency this year that's so weird because of the weird balloons in the past with spending and all the bad contracts on the books right now. There's no money out there. The Lakers have so much money and there's none. So there's a great opportunity in a poor market to clean up, whether that's taking bad contracts or getting really good players on very, very small deals.
Does Kyrie Irving get traded this summer? I don't think so. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. He can walk if he wants to, and I hope he does. But I don't think he's traded. I think the only possible trade would have been Kawhi, but it seems the Celtics have completely backed off of talking with the Spurs on that. So 100% no. Lou Williams is not a free agent. No.
No, he got signed by the Clippers.
Yeah, he's on the Clippers a couple more years.
3 years, like $8 million per or something like that.
Yeah, thank you, Memes Master Jim. Been in here a while. Spitting out some information for everyone else in here. So I don't think the Pacers would have done this, but D'Angelo Russell and Timothy Mozgov for Paul George last year. What are your thoughts on that? Jeremiah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can.
Right. Yeah. I was a big D'Lo guy, so if you asked me in the moment, I would have said heck no. In retrospect, obviously, that would have been the deal.
Yeah,
I think we were all hustled. I think we were all thought he was coming regardless, so we weren't going to move assets for him. So I mean, it does inform the Kawhi Leonard trade because you don't have them until they sign on the line. So we'll see.
All right. Any last questions before we get out of here? Feel free to follow us on social media. I will link it all down here in the comments. Instagram, Twitter. Those are our 2 handles there.
We're going to Vegas Summer League.
Yes.
So keep your ears and eyes open. We're going to be putting out tons of content. We're probably going to have a daily pod. We're going to probably be putting out YouTube constantly.
Yeah, Big Baller Land. If you listen on SoundCloud, we have podcasts there. Any of your podcast apps that you listen to, we have a new episode every Saturday. We didn't do one this Saturday because we were doing this tonight. Apple Podcasts, the purple Apple Podcast app on your iPhone or any Apple devices. Yeah, no problem, Brandon. Thanks for joining in. Tried to answer as many questions as we could.
Maybe thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we'll try to do this tomorrow. Follow on all social media, Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud. Again, any podcast app to follow us. We talk for about 30 to 45 minutes about the hottest NBA things going on, around the NBA. So, yeah. Any last thoughts here, Jeremiah? Any last? What are you doing with this game? It's getting dark.
Hate Paul George. I hate him. He's my least favorite player besides Marcus Smart.
Jeremiah is a big Marcus Smart hater. Thank you guys for joining in. Again, hit us up on social media. Subscribe. We got some YouTube content coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Big ballers. Keep it going.